What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Dylan and Mitch. We're here once again. We don't get paid enough for this shit, but we're here every single Monday night to review Raw, the shitty show that's been going on for 24 years and counting, and I'm asking for it to please take a break. Take a break. That should be the title, but a certain superstar was on here tonight that we could not and would not refuse. We refused to not review the show. So, Mitch, we're here. How you feeling? How you feeling about this review and what we're going to do tonight in terms of this episode?
I didn't feel this episode was all that bad. From your reaction of it, I think you might be a little bit more harsh on it than me tonight, but I think there are a couple positive points. There is, of course, its low points, but we'll get into it. I think the main thing is that some of the matches went on a little bit too long, which I didn't really like, but we had Lavar, the GOAT Ball, feature on WWE Raw, basically popping the ratings, giving us something to talk about, having a segment and especially an entrance of the ages. And we also had some stuff with Strowman and Roman. That's always pretty good. The Miz did a great job in that segment, which we'll get to. Big Cass and Enzo, which I thought was the segment of the night. And, you know, a little bit of Rollins and Wyatt. But the main complaint for me is going to be about Brock Lesnar, but we'll get into that and about the rest of the show.
Mitch, I didn't hate the show. I would say that a lot of it was dull, to be putting it in words. I think there was a lot of good there were some pretty good segments on the show. But for a majority of stuff, especially when it comes to title feuds, I wasn't really digging it. So that's just my opinion. We'll get into it. We'll start off with an actual good segment that I enjoyed here on the show. So we have Roman Reigns come out to the ring. What an original start to the show. I'm just saying. And they also want to put this as like, yeah, Roman is a babyface. That's what he's supposed to be. Doesn't really react like one right now. But he gets there. He says, this is still his yard. And last week, the way he said Samoa Joe was good. He's like, Samoa Joe. He
says it that way because he's Samoan and he knows how to pronounce it, unlike everybody else.
Oh, congratulations. Just say it like the regular way. I don't know. Samoa Joe. It's like if Rock came out there. Samoa. You know what you're doing. Anyways, he said last week Joe was finally able to put the coquina clutch on him and put him to sleep. And when he was done, Braun Strowman was a coward and picked the bones. He challenged the big dog to an ambulance match at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, which I will be at in 2 weeks. And he says, yes. I thought it was already agreed on, but doesn't matter. He says he's been in a lot of stipulations, but not anything quite like this. And he wants to know, he wants to let Braun know he's going to be thrown into the back of the ambulance and driven straight to hell because this is still his yard and he makes the rules. And we hear the sirens roll. I thought a big bad booty daddy Scott Steiner was coming out, but it wasn't. It was the ambulance coming out. And we're like kind of wondering what's going on. Is Braun Strowman the driver of the ambulance? So Roman Reigns goes over there to investigate his old Scooby-Doo investigation. And he opens the doors and he's like, where is Braun Strowman? And of course, Braun attacks him from behind. This is impressive. I mean, Roman is a huge dude. And we know Braun Strowman's huge, but he just tosses the guy. He tosses him onto the stage, starts beating him up. Roman goes for a Superman punch. Braun stops it, and this was unintentionally hilarious, but he threw Roman just right into the side of the ambulance, like just tossed him, lawn darted the shit out of him. It was hilarious. But like Reigns collided with the ambulance really hard, and it looks awesome to see Braun Strowman staring over Roman Reigns once again, beating the shit out of him. That's what these guys have been doing for months. He's beating the shit out of each other, and this segment was another example of it. I thought it was entertaining. Braun Strowman, of course, being a savage. That's what we want to see on regular WWE television. And Roman Reigns getting beat up. Well, what more could you not like as a fan? We like Roman Reigns more, but I'm just saying that I thought it was a pretty good segment overall, and it got across the fact that Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns are going to have an intense battle at Great Balls of Fire. Mitch, what did you think about this segment?
I thought this segment was all right. I mean, we had the whole thing with Roman Reigns coming out, and everybody was saying how hot it was in Los Angeles, but it was even hotter in the building when Roman Reigns came out. The heat for this guy, man, I was saying to Dylan, this guy could be the greatest heel of all time. Just turn him heel, please. Come on, please.
They don't want to stop.
He could be the freaking greatest heel of all time. Like, seriously, man. But anyways, we get into the segment. Of course, we have the little Roman Reigns promo. It is what it is. And Braun Strowman with the ambulance. We've seen similar things like this before in the past. But Braun Strowman attacks him kind of out of nowhere, which was also kind of predictable and expected. But what made this segment actually good for me was when they started brawling and fighting and when Strowman attacked him. From there on out, it was a pretty good segment. I did feel like we needed more of these two on the show. I think that was a weakness of the show, is that we only saw these guys once in the entire show, which was not the best. I would prefer to see them throughout the show, throughout the entire night, because these are two of the bigger stars. This is probably the feud that I'm most intrigued in. So I want to see this all Raw every week. That's the reason why I'm watching the show if I'm a casual viewer, to see Reigns and to see Braun. But the way that Braun threw Roman Reigns like 20 feet in the air, that man must be so I know he's a strong man, but that guy is so strong. That's so impressive. And I know that Roman helped him by like semi-jumping, but did you see how far he threw that guy? That was nuts. I like stopped and I had to rewind that and play it again. That was nuts. But yeah, another thing I love about this feud is their brawls. Like, that is the thing that I love most, I think. Is when they brawl, is because you don't see it very often in wrestling today. Like, the style of wrestling that they wrestle with, like the real legit kind of almost a shoot fight. Like, it's almost like if you went outside a bar and two guys were like just fighting each other, throwing punches and stuff. That's what it looks like Strowman and Reigns are fighting like, besides maybe a couple of points during their matches. But that's pretty much it's pretty much as close to a shoot fight as you can get with these two. It's just a straight up brawl, and that's why I enjoy their segments a lot. And that's what we saw here again. So I thought it was a pretty good way to start the show. I was just disappointed that we didn't get to see them again, Dylan.
I agree. These guys have been one of the more entertaining aspects of the show, and only seeing them once, kind of disappointing. I also don't like the fact that they opened the show. I get why they do, but it's like constantly we see these guys over and over again to start the show. But I thought it was a decent segment. Nonetheless, let's get to some comments here. Oscar says Lonzo is a Laker. That's our first comment. Yes, Lonzo is on Mitch's Lakers team. This team's going to succeed in 5 years, and he's going to win.
Lonzo taking the Lakers to the playoffs first year.
Everybody go comment. He's a bandwagon. Second, Arian says, man, this show was ass except for Lavar. Well, yes, we're going to talk about our boy Lavar Ball in just a minute. Let's see here. Arian says, can Samoa Joe put me in the clutch and put me to sleep? Michael says, Roman is so boring. Well, compared to the rest of the marks saying he's worse in other aspects, I'm going to take that as a win for Roman Reigns. Zal, welcome back, Zal. He says, people would start cheering Roman if he turned heel. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Everybody knows he acts like a heel. WWE treats him like a heel, but they want you to cheer for the man. Makes a whole lot of sense, right?
Bro, and this guy says that he would be the greatest heel of all time. I don't think so. Better than Flair, better than Triple H. Look at the heat this guy gets, man. Holy shit. You've never seen a heel get this much heat, or not even a heel, a character on television get this much heat.
It's like Cena times 3. Like,
there's like people like legitimately want to stab this man. If that's not heel heat, I don't know what is.
That's true. That's true.
What's going on, Chris Crypto?
Crypto, what's up, fam? Michael
Katana says he's definitely interested in seeing Roman as a heel. Aaron says, I do like brawls, but that's all they do. I agree with that. At a certain point, it gets a little bit boring, but just the way that Braun and Roman do it is it's just fun to watch every time to me.
It's entertaining.
Clark said he only liked 2 segments, Roman and Braun and Sasha winning. Everything else was shit as usual, and he didn't like the Miz TV segment, which he said was cringy.
You know, I'm gonna get back to. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Michael Horton, one of my favorite commentators so far. LaMelo is a star. We'll get into Miz TV here in just a little bit. I'm gonna roast some people on that segment, but we are not there yet. Let's get to our next segment. The Drifter is in the ring with Cesaro and Sheamus. He's going to perform his new hit single, actually with featured guest. I didn't know he was a rapper because it's the only time you get to see features nowadays. But it wasn't meant to be
DJ Khaled with like 8 different freaking features on his one song.
DJ Khaled featuring Rihanna, freaking Beyonce, Drake, all these other people. Great stuff. So the Hardy Boys, they said, nah, that's not going to happen. We're not going to let you perform the new single. I was wanting to hear Cesaro yodel because remember this shit actually happened. But no, we didn't get to see it tonight. So the Hardy Boys come out. Finn Balor's coming out. We have a 6-man tag. Why? Because reasons. 6-man tag, Cesaro, Elias, Samson, and Sheamus versus Finn Balor and Hardy Boys. Quite a long match. An aggressively long match. But I still thought it was decent for what it was. Finn Balor wins with the coup de grace onto Cesaro. So the faces get the advantage heading into the go-home show next week. I don't think there's much to say here. There was no promos or anything of substance with these two feuds, so it kind of devalues how much I'm expecting them to be good going into the pay-per-view. Any thoughts?
All I want to say is, can we get a storyline between the Hardy Boys, Cesaro, and Sheamus? It's been like a month. Like, can we get something? Why are these, like, something, please? And also, the only other thing I got to add to this, or two more things, actually. Elias Samson, I've noticed this ever since he's been given a decent role on the show. I've liked the show more. So that's something to be said. And last thing is, what? Okay, I'm done.
I'm wondering where our boy is. I don't think he might show up tonight. I don't know. But yeah, what is the feud with the Hardys in Sheamus and Cesaro? I thought they were going to be done after Extreme Rules. And nope, they're going to continue because they have no tag teams. But whatever. Whatever. We get a video package from the man himself, Goldust, a Shattered Dreams production. He says there's something truly magical in the air. And he asks if we can feel it, if we can taste it, if we're on the edge of our seats. The anticipation makes him tingle. And tonight, the Shattered Truth hits Hollywood because they are in Los Angeles. I have to point that out. Oh, I almost forgot about this. The guy from the Transformers movie, Joe Dumall or whatever, was on commentary. I don't know. It's because they had to be in LA, of course. Anyways, in the Goldust segment, he talks about, don't worry, Truth. He understands if he's nervous. Even the biggest stars suffer from a little stage fright. But when the light goes on, you must perform. You got to be on your A game. You must shine like gold. And tonight, he's going to put the finishing touches to his masterpiece. I like this segment. I always enjoy the Goldust promos that he's been given the last couple of weeks. They give you value. And when they announced that this match was going to happen this week, I was intrigued. I was like, I didn't really think I was ever going to be excited for a Goldust R-Truth match, but you got me excited with all these little promos, so it helps. So they have Goldust versus R-Truth. I like to say when Goldust came out there and it's all gold and he had his own camera man with him, I thought that was a nice touch. We didn't get to see any views from the cameraman himself, but I still thought it was cool for what it was. And R-Truth comes out. He's ready to fight. And Goldust, bam, just beats the shit out of him.
I'm laughing my ass off at this comment that Arian put.
What's the comment?
I want Reigns to troll the marks by coming out with Finn Balor's entrance and doing the arm thing. Imagine he starts a feud with Finn Balor, and then the first week he goes out there and does the Finn Balor entrance. Oh my god, I would die. I would die laughing to that segment. Just the fans would be like throwing shit at him. It would be so funny.
The Beach 1996 all over again. That'd be funny as shit. We'll get actually. No, we got to both segments. That would be funny. So yeah, Goldust beats the shit out of R-Truth before it even starts. The match doesn't even start, and the commentators are putting it over. Michael Cole's looking like a complete idiot because the other two are like, "This is brilliant." He never said a match was implied in the movie. He was just gonna beat the shit out of R-Truth, And that's basically what he did. He wanted to take down R-Truth. R-Truth shouldn't have let his guard down, and Goldust beat the shit out of him. I thought it was entertaining. I think we're going to obviously see more of this feud, but as a plot point of me wanting to watch this match and for them to build it up even more, I thought it worked. Mitch, you got any thoughts on this?
I liked it. I thought it was a little simple. Obviously, it was short, which was good. But the part that I really liked was how they kind of went back to an old Goldust style. Like they had the whole entrance theme. They had like the slow motion bits. They had him actually dye the back of his head, which was good. They had him in the whole bodysuit. But the part that I liked the most was the addition to it with the cameraman or the video. What did
the film?
What did he call him?
The film something. I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so the cameraman.
The
cameraman. Okay, I like that part of it because I thought that was really cool. So like every segment he's out there, he's gonna have this cameraman like filming him. I think that's a really good part of the new gimmick.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. It was okay. It was a good way to start the feud because now we've had all these kind of vignette video packages to get all the hype with the feud. And now we have this attack. Now we have to see how R-Truth is going to respond, what's going to happen next. And I thought it was decent for a little mid-card feud that we have going on. And actually, I really like Goldust. I've always liked Goldust. I've always liked the persona. I've always liked Dustin Rhodes, or Dustin Reynolds. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say than that. It was a basic segment, but I like Goldust, and I want to see more of him.
Yeah, I mean, considering this is probably going to be one of his last feuds, you know, you want to see where it goes, what they're going to do with it, if they got anything exciting, a big finish. So this is a nice little segment. They might have a match at the pay-per-view. I don't know, but I think it's a decent mid-card feud, like you said. It's not obviously their top priority, but for them to have a good storyline with this, I think it's good. One last segment before the greatest segment ever made on television. Paul Heyman is backstage with Charlie Caruso. No bunhead once again. Thank the gods that this happened. Looking great tonight.
Yes. No bunhead. Okay, I swear this was maybe the hottest Charlie's ever looked on Raw.
On Raw,
and she's looked hot, but she looked smoking. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was because she was in LA or what, or she got a tan, but she looked great, bro. She looked. And then they zoom right in on Paul Heyman's face, and I'm like, what? Show Charlie. I even had to add her on how great she looked tonight.
Yeah, I saw that. Paul Heyman.
I do want to point out some comments here. Michael says Sasha did good tonight. We'll talk about that. Katana says Matt Hardy desperately needs to be broken soon. Omar says I hate him because he's boring, has no charisma at all. He just has the look of a heel, not the talent. Talking about Roman Reigns. Michael says they need to bring Terry's fine ass back. Clark says old ass Goldust needs to sit down and the time's up. Michael Horton points out to us that the camera did not work for Goldust. Arian says that they should have had the view from the camera guy. I agree. I would have liked them to have both shots, not just it be fake, but like have the one shot and then have the post shot. Or what you could do with that is kind of have like these little videos, like Goldust style videos, and maybe like next week we could see Goldust in like a video package talking about how he beat the crap out of Truth, and then you could have the video of the cameraman perspective. I think that would be pretty cool. Katana also says, I wish Lana was on Raw. A Lana interview with Charlie Caruso would be fantastic.
That might break my 50-inch screen. I don't know if that's a healthy idea, but it's definitely a worthy idea. Paul Heyman is backstage. We get to see his lovely face on television. I'm not gay, by the way. As he runs down all the things that his client Brock Lesnar will be doing tonight, when all of a sudden, in another very homoerotic scene, Samoa Joe comes up from behind on Paul Heyman. Keeps him in this little chokehold. He's like, he tells him he's not going to choke him. He's not going to do anything. It's meant for Brock Lesnar. Tonight, he's going to put it on them. He's not going to waste all of it on Paul Heyman because that coquina clutch is for his client, and he lets him go. Just a little build-up for the segment that's going to happen later on the night. I had no real problem with it. Next, the greatest segment ever given to TV, to mankind, and the biggest ratings pop since Austin in 1999. You ready? Miss TV with Maurice. Of course, we have to get over the fact that there's still a feud with the Intercontinental Championship. I don't remember it either, but apparently that's still going on. She still is doing, I'm not really towards you at this moment. I'm not with you right now. But I am married to you, so I'm going to come out anyways. Miz says that he's now exposed Dean Ambrose for the fool he is. So it's time to look to the future. Since this is his adopted home, Los Angeles, he's gotten some big stars for the show. Of course, there's one person in particular that's been getting all the hype in Los Angeles. NBA draft, all this other stuff. And he introduces Lavar and LaMelo Ball. And I'm like, wait, okay, is Lonzo coming out separately? He does. By the way, Lonzo Ball rocking the socks and sandals gear. I love it because that's what I do. But Lavar and LaMelo, they come out first. We have the greatest segment. First off, now we can't even get to the segment. Lavar's entrance was 5 stars. This man is a goofster in his own right. He's soaking in the moment that this is his paradise because he knows he can fit in with all the crazy characters and all the wacky promos. So he just comes in there straight chopping away as he runs in there and then lays on the ground in the middle of the ring as he's getting ready for this big promo with The Miz. I give credit to The Miz. I don't know how he didn't laugh. I don't know how he didn't burst out laughing in the middle of the segment because I would have done it. So Miz congratulates Lonzo and Lavar for their accomplishments. Talks about what is an honor to be a partner with the big brand. And Lavar's like, hold up. I'm not partnering with you. You're a little too low for me. You're a little too low. And I'm like, whoa. He's taking pot shots at The Miz. And Miz takes off the sunglasses. He's like, I'm an Intercontinental Champion. How many championships have you won? And Lavar responds, 2. And I
was like, what 2 championships have you won, Lavar?
I was like, wait, like he's got to be like in his own mental state. I don't understand like what championships has he won? And then he goes to Lonzo, how many championships have you won? And he goes, 3. 3 what? And and even Miz is like, did UCLA win the national championship this year? I must have forgot. And then Lavar goes off on Miz, and he's like, you know what? I think I know what the Miz means. It's the misinterpreted zone. And then, maybe it's a million zippers. And he starts messing with Miz's jacket. And he says there's only 2 dudes better than him. And they're me.
This was the greatest line. This popped my dad, actually. My dad's laughing at that line.
Because it was so stupid, but it was funny. Like, I enjoyed it. I'm like, this guy's nuts.
There's only 2 people better than me, and they're both myself.
He calls LaMelo in to handle things. He's threatening to unleash the balls. Get it? So Lavar says the hunt is on, and he's shaking around. He's getting ready. Miz takes off his shirt, and he's like, oh, buff boy. Don't be taking off his shirt. Takes off the shirt. He's doing this Karate Kid shit. He's like, it was hilarious. Yeah, it was
Bruce Lee.
He's doing a little Tai Chi, you know. Enter Dean Ambrose, and in the middle of this Dean Ambrose entrance, LaMelo Ball can't handle himself. He's in high school. He's younger than me, and on the microphone, just blurts out to his dad, "Beat that N-word's ass." It was hilarious. It wasn't even like it was like faint. Everybody heard it. Everybody got it on video. Obviously, I'm not going to say the word, but it was funny as shit to watch. So he's dancing around the ring. Dean's like, you know what? I'm going to let you do what you do, Lavar. Just go ahead and continue. And he's like, he's still running around the ring. Like, he is still making comments in the middle of this Dean Ambrose promo. It was so funny. Dean's like, he's the one that got represented as the Big Baller brand. Why did the Big Baller brand choose Dean Ambrose? If I'm LaVar Ball, right? I know how big of a superstar I am. I'm going for Brock Lesnar, man. I mean, he knows the talent level he's gonna get. Plus those tank tops, they're gonna be selling like crazy. So he chose Dean Ambrose to represent the Ball family at Great Balls of Fire. Get it? Get it? And ain't nobody has bigger balls than Dean Ambrose. Plus, he loves the free t-shirts. So we're going to break, and we're going to have this 6-man tag. I don't even care about the 6-man tag. The Faces won. But, Mitch, we got to get your thoughts. What did you think about this incredible LeVar Ball experience on Monday Night Raw? The it's not interpromotional, but it crossing the boundaries between sports and WWE. This great segment.
Oh my god! I want to see the ratings for this thing. It was all over Twitter. Just that entrance alone. That entrance was freaking epic, bro. He runs out like this.
His run was so funny. It was like comical, like how.
That's not even the best part. And then he lies on that like this.
So yeah, in the middle of the first part of the segment, it was so funny. Oh god! And are you on mute or are you just waiting to say something? One. Oh, okay. I think he's coming back. Just seeing LeVar Ball on my screen, like knowing what he's doing, it was so funny. Like just watching him out there being charismatic, saying whatever he wanted to say. It was crazy. And yes, it had no script, so it might have been a little stupid. But, I mean, I'd rather have the entertainment. And I tweeted this out to everybody. If you have not seen my Twitter, at WrestlingGod27, this segment was trying to do 3 things. Pop the ratings, get people talking about the product, and mainstream publicity. And it's exactly what it did. Everybody at least tuned into that segment. They're going to watch that segment on YouTube later tonight. They saw LeVar Ball on WWE television, and they're going to talk about, well, LeVar was here and what he did on the show. So, like, having him on here had nothing to do with them thinking LeVar Ball was going to be good. It was there to pop ratings, which I guarantee the second-hour ratings are going to be the highest of the show. I'm guaranteeing that. And then on top of that, it got people talking because you know how many people, like Mitch said, on Twitter, on Instagram, World Star commented, put a video of it. World Star doesn't care about WWE. They care about the greatness of LeVar Ball. So that is the reason this segment happened. I don't know how I have to explain it because people still hate the segment. I think it's ridiculous. But I thought it was a tremendous segment. Tremendous segment in television. We'll never forget it. What's up, Mitch? No, I cannot hear you. All right, I think Marky Mark is taking control of his computer, and I hate that. Let's get to some comments before we get there. Let's see. Katana says the only reason I watched SmackDown is to see Lana. He also says LeVar deserves an IC title shot. Yes. Absolutely. Arian says, I liked how they showed Miz and Mauricio had problems. That's true. Michael says, damn, LeVar can't run. That was hilarious. Rattail, didn't LeVar say the N-word twice? My son did, Lamelo. And I'm going to make a comment about Leandro in a second. Arian said, I would have had LeVar punch Miz and then have Maurice slap LeVar for heat. Yeah, I thought they were going to do something like that, but I guess they can't do content. I don't know. Let's see. LeVar better than anyone on the roster. Not everyone on the roster. Pretty close. Let's see. Katana with the hot take. If Ambrose was released tomorrow, I don't think a lot of people would care. Maybe. Ambrose has been like, we talked about this on the Q&A yesterday. I think he's one of the most overrated people in the company right now. He hasn't done a lot of hot things in the last couple of months, and he's just been pretty content with where he is in the roster. So I'm not digging him. I'm not looking forward to seeing Dean Ambrose on my television screen that often, but that's how I feel. Rattail says, best segment of my life. You're damn right. It was the best segment. Mitch, are you? Whoa! Oh, what? No, not in this segment. Bro, I don't know if your music's there, but I still can't hear you. Nope, I can't hear you. Even Marky Mark couldn't beat the greatness of... Oh, wait, now I can hear him. Oh, the music's on. Oh, no. I thought it was going to be over. Oh, no. No.
Dilly!
No. No.
Who is this Lavar Ball?
LeVar Ball, the father of Lonzo Ball, Los Angeles Lakers.
I booted Mitch right off this.
Wow.
I pulled his mic out.
Wow.
He went to go get a new mic. I put my mic in here, and I fooled him. I took his mic because I needed to talk about LeVar Ball.
Okay. Should be interesting.
LeVar Ball is disgraceful to the great sport of wrestling. We only had Finn Balor in one match tonight. We need him in 5. What?
Oh, God.
LeVar Ball does nothing for my taste. I turned it off. I went to go pee. I went to go make myself some more food. I did not care about LeVar Ball. Who cares about LeVar Ball?
Wait. Do you eat Bootios by chance? Is that your content of?
I love Bootios. Love Bootios. I eat them for lunch and dinner.
I heard that as well. I heard that. You also commented that wrestling is a sport. Is that what I heard?
A sport that is filled with athleticism, and it is real. Damn it!
How is it? How is it real? How is it real?
Because the most athletic wrestlers in the world are in WWE. The bestest athletes in the world participate within that squared circle. And LeVar Ball and this Lonzo Ball deserve no place within the squared circle.
You know, your vocabulary is also the bestest as well. But I would like to point out here that it is entertainment. That is the E in WWE.
No, Dylan, all we need is 20-minute match, 20-minute match, 20-minute match. No talking. 20-minute match, 20-minute match, 20-minute match. I don't even need the commentating. I can mute it. I'll go to New Japan. What I do, I go to New Japan, I mute the commentary, and you know, I find a place by myself. You know, and then I watch it on mute because Kenny Omega is that good.
Oh yeah, Kenny Omega, Okada. I mean, you and I've heard you and Mr. Magoo are big friends. Like you guys have gotten along on Twitter. You're hopefully meeting him soon. I've heard you and Magoo are big favorites down there in the New Japan scene.
Dave Meltzer is the greatest wrestling reporter of all time.
The same guy that said WrestleMania 3 was going to fail, and then it had the biggest attendance.
Did you know, Dylan, that he works harder than Vince McMahon? He said it himself. That's not even a lie. He said it himself.
So you're just going to take his word for the fact that he, a journalist, has worked more than the man that has created like 40 years of content?
Yes, Dave Meltzer. Vince McMahon sucks. He doesn't know anything.
I'm muting the shit out of you right now. That is just the worst thing I've ever heard in every possible facet. Dave Meltzer knows more about. He's worked more hours in wrestling than Vince.
Dylan, how did this guy get in here?
Bro, he said he stole your microphone, and then he came in and he was talking about.
My mic wasn't working. I thought it was like Vince McMahon or WWE or something, but I guess it was one of the marks. They didn't like what I was saying about LeVar Ball and Roman Reigns.
They tried to attack me last week, and now this week they got you with the mic. He said that Dave Meltzer works more hours than Vince McMahon. I mean, how stupidly crazy is that?
Can we get back to how great LeVar Ball was in this segment? And I also want to give props. I want to give props to LeVar Ball, and I want to give props to The Miz specifically. Dean Ambrose was okay. It was a little, I don't even know why it was there. It didn't even need to be there, to be honest with you. But The Miz was great. And especially The Miz was great because he had absolutely no idea where that segment was going to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely no idea. He had to control that segment. He was the veteran in there. They put him in there for a reason because they know what he can do on the microphone. Miz performed. Miz directed the segment well. He got Lavar into it. It was a great show, and I want to see LeVar Ball back. If it was me, I would have put LeVar Ball in the main event versus The Miz for the IC title.
Bro, if he's there at Dallas, I'm jumping the barricade and I'm hugging LeVar Ball. I mean, that is my ultimate life goal at this moment. If I see him at Great Balls of Fire, it's over. It's over. I'm done. I'm done reviewing wrestling. He's great. I enjoyed it. If Marks actually hate the segment, you don't know what entertainment is, bro. You don't. Go watch New Japan, Chikara, whatever fifth-rate company there is, because you care about the in-ring product. Which I don't have a problem with. But when you come over here and you see it's entertainment, you got to look at it as a entertainment, not wrestling. Like, I know there's wrestling, but shit. You gotta enjoy these moments for what they are. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Enzo Amore is out to the ring. We got a recap of what happened last week on Raw, where Cass was revealed to be the attacker of Enzo Amore. And everybody's like, whoa, why would Cass do this, such a thing? It's crazy, it's ridiculous, and whatnot. But Enzo comes to the ring. He says, you know what, guys? I'm not doing too good. But this isn't him. It's about the realest guys in the room, referring to him and Cass. He takes off his jacket, and he has all the Enzo and Cass merch on him still. He says he's called Cass all week, texted him, left voice messages, got in the DMs, even talked to his mother, but nothing. He wants to handle it man to man. He's done with all this stupid things that he's done before. It ain't going to be the first time. It ain't going to be the last time. He's calling out Big Cass. Now, the one thing I hate about this segment is Big Cass's entrance. Why is it still almost the exact same entrance of Enzo? I don't understand that to me, because they're breaking up. Even if they did what they did tonight, they still could have given him a new entrance. It was the exact same. And my God, what was the shirt that Enzo was wearing? Or, Cass was wearing? It was just a black tank top, bluish black tank top that looked just awful. Looked like you were trying to...
Cass needs to, lose some fat.
Lose some fat.
Seriously,
he's not the fattest guy on the roster.
He's not fat, but he's weird looking almost.
He's 7 foot tall. I don't know.
He's 7 foot tall, and he looks like Sami Zayn, but 7 feet tall.
He's lanky. He just has a weird body type. I'll say that.
It is weird. And shirts like that are not good. I don't know.
I just don't like that he had the same entrance, and then the shirt. I
didn't like that either. I thought that they should have had maybe. I understand it's only been 1 week, but just have no music then.
Yeah, just have him come out to the ring or something. But
just have him come out with
the same entrance. Well, and then they had Big Cass in the Titantron part. But yeah,
I thought that this was a great segment. This was by far the best part of the show.
Yeah, this was awesome. I just didn't like that was the one nitpick of the part, but. The crowd booing him. The crowd was booing him. Enzo says he knows he hears that reaction. And what he knows is that it hurts Cass because he knows Cass is better than anybody. Or he knows Cass better than anybody. That reaction just hurts him. It hurts the big man. And he's already bled deep inside. Cass said a lot of hurtful things. And you know what? A lot of those things were absolutely true. He knows he's not the biggest. And sometimes he bites off a little bit more than he could chew. But that's okay because he had Big Cass with him. And everything they ate together like family. He says Cass was his brother. And last week, he might have broken his heart. And now he broke his face. But that's a bond he refuses to break. This was a more emotional promo. You were supposed to get invested in the backstory of Enzo and Cass and how Enzo feels because they did this video package a little bit before that. And they're like, man, they gone through the NXT stage together. And being here in WWE and trying to win the WWE Tag Team titles. And you know how Enzo feels about his buddy Big Cass, his brother Big Cass. He can't explain how much pride he took in Cass when he took the shot, when he took the gas. And Enzo was just shotgun, riding the rave over. And the journey's not over yet. What happened in the past is the past. I mean, he's going to leave it. He's going to leave it there. And he doesn't want to dwell on the dead. He said he saw all the emotion in the guy's eyes, and he saw all the passion roll down his cheek last week when he got that one G tier. And the last time he felt like this was he got knocked out in the pay-per-view, and I remember that payback. But no time to dwell on the dead. Enzo has to focus on the future, and he refuses to break the bond that he had with this big man. They're going to take big steps forward, and we're going to get past it. So Big Cass gets the mic. He says, you know what? You never knew how to shut up. And we thought, oh, he's just going to attack him. Or just be like really mad at him for this. But he has to be honest. After what he did last week, he's never been so ashamed in his life. He knows he's annoying. He's loud. He constantly runs his mouth. But that's just who Enzo is. And he's going to accept Enzo for who he is. He said, like Enzo said, they're brothers. So in front of the world, he wants to tell his brother he's sorry for what he's done last week and in the last 5 weeks in total. And I was so waiting for him to do the Jeff Jarrett thing. Jeff Jarrett did a promo once, and he's like, I'm sorry I didn't do it earlier, and then starts getting off. That would have been hilarious as shit. He just stretched his hand. Enzo's kind of like, I don't know if I should do it. The crowd's telling him no. But Enzo shakes his hand. They hug. They brother it out. They're in the ring. They're kind of doing their thing. They leave to the ramp. They're dancing. You're like wondering what's going to happen. Cass holds up Enzo's hand and boom! Clothesline out of nowhere. And I was like, they got us. I knew it was going to happen. I was just wondering when they were going to do it, but they got the crowd. Cass beats him up. He tosses the shit out of him on the ramp. He falls down the ramp. Of course, Enzo's a lot smaller than him, so the effect is really cool. And this was awesome. I just love seeing that little segment right there. Enzo got all the emotion, all the backstory that he has. He's a great promo cutter. He's probably second best in the company behind Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt's been getting pretty repetitive lately, so Enzo's up there. And just seeing all the emotional stuff that they've been going through and why they should be a tag team still and how great they were in NXT and WWE, you got to see why you're supposed to be invested in the breakup. And then Cass, his reasons for it and just attacks him again because he's that kind of guy. He's done with Enzo Amore. So I thought this was the best segment, like Mitch said. I thought there was a lot of interesting stuff going on here, a lot of drama, a lot of stuff to take in, but a lot of good stuff going on here. So for me, best segment of the night. I know Mitch has got a lot to say on this segment, so I'm going to kick it to him.
The reason why this segment was successful. Echo. Okay. The reason why this segment was successful is because of the. Can you guess it, Dylan?
Because of the, I don't know, dramatic effect. What are you going
Close. For? I'll give you one more guess. It has to do with the wrestlers themselves.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what you would come up with in this segment, like the promo ability. The what?
Acting.
The acting. Oh.
Okay, so not only was Enzo great with the promo, but the reason why this promo was so good was because of what Enzo did after what he had to say. When Cass was talking, and we know that Cass isn't a great talker, you were probably paying attention to what Enzo was doing while he was reacting to what Cass had to say. When you watched Enzo, he put on a great acting performance for someone that I don't think he's had any previous acting classes. He's never been in he's just naturally that gifted as a performer. And it would be unreasonable and unrealistic and absolutely dumb to not have Enzo stay on the show in a prominent space, because Enzo proved right there in that segment that he is needed on the show because he is a great actor. Watch how he acted to that segment. He was almost crying during that segment. You saw his eyes. They were like bright blue, like they had tears in them. He was really emotional. You could feel the emotion between both guys, especially Enzo, on how he was feeling. He felt like he made a mistake. You genuinely felt bad for the guy. You genuinely wanted to see these guys get back together. And that's why this segment was so good, because it was written well, and I think that it was well done on how they actually delivered it, because they had Enzo come out. Even though I thought Enzo should have came out probably with the entrance music, but just kind of mad and just storm down to the ring and not do like his regular thing, but just kind of storm down to the ring. And then Cass come down. This is just a personal preference. Cass come down with no entrance music and storm down after Enzo has said some stuff. But I think Cass did a pretty good job on the way that he performed and made you believe that they were getting back together and made you believe that he believed what Enzo was saying and he wanted to remain brothers with Enzo. And I think people are saying that, and I've said this actually, I think I said this last week. I was not a fan that they turned so quickly and that they didn't ever win a title. But the way that they did it this week, they made you not care that they never won a title, because the story of it is not how successful they've been as a tag team, but how successful they've been in life with each other and how good of friends and brothers they are. So that makes the storyline more realistic and better, I think. And instead of relating it to wrestling and their successes in wrestling, I really love the lines where Enzo was talking about, and it felt genuine. It felt real when Enzo was cutting his promo and he was talking about how him and Cass have grown up with each other and they made this, they made this run to the WWE, and everybody really knows Enzo and Cass's story about how they've been best friends. They're not only been a tag team, but before that they were best friends, and Enzo never wanted to be a wrestler. Cass got him to be a wrestler and all this stuff. So I think it was a really well done promo. And then near the end, of course, you get the Cass double turn on him. That was really well done. I love how they waited to the last possible second to do it. And I just thought Enzo absolutely nailed this segment. And I got to give props all the way around for a very well done segment tonight.
Good acting, good promotion. I enjoyed it. A lot of storyline interest. And overall, I thought we thought it was the best segment of the night because they knew exactly how to book the segment, how they were going to put the story over as not that they didn't get championships, but they had a family bond, and I love it. So I thought it was the best segment of the night, like Mitch did. Powerlifter says he's new here. So what's up, buddy? If you enjoy the content we have here, we have a lot of wrestling, football, basketball, all that stuff, NHL. Subscribe to the channel.
Dilly, I think it's time to promote our video upcoming after this one.
Oh, I see. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a new episode of GM Mode. You got to check out a new episode. We're on episode 9. Mitch screwed up a little bit. We'll talk about it on the newest episode.
But a lot of wrestlers are returning to GM Mode.
Wait, are they returning because of it? Yes.
Yep. Yes. This episode, the return of The Rock, the return of Triple H, the return of Hulk Hogan. Numerous wrestlers are returning.
We're gonna talk about it. We'll explain all the crazy shit that happens on episode 9. We have 3 weeks left till SummerSlam on our GM Mode. You're saying SummerSlam? That can't be true. Well, you're gonna find out on episode 9 and episode 10. The first double-digit episode will be SummerSlam. So 5 stars, baby. We knew how to plan it, right? We were just so good at planning. So stay tuned. After Raw, we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of break. We'll set up and get ready. So there's your.
I will say this about the Enzo and Cass segment. I always complain about not having threads on the show. I think it might have even been more impactful if Enzo would have been backstage like a couple times tonight very quickly looking for Cass.
Yeah.
I think it might have been like maybe like a minute or like 30-second segments. Like 2 of them maybe before they do this segment of him just looking around, because he brought up about how he could never reach him through DM and through his mom and all that stuff. I think that would have made it even better, but I thought this was fantastic.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we need threads. We need good threads on television. That's the thing. But wrestling, Mr. Magoo knows that you just can't have threads.
No, all you need, according to Mr. Magoo, is wrestling matches and sports interviews.
This goofball is going to be on you watching the G1 climax, and he's going to have a climax of his own because he just loves Japanese wrestling. And he thinks I'm joking when I say that he doesn't care for WWE. No, he just loves Japanese wrestling. In-ring shit. That's what he cares about. Mr. Magoo, if you're watching.
And Arian says this. Were so many follow-ups in the Attitude Era. That's something I want to bring up, and that's something I'm going to bring up when we review, myself and Kevin, WCW Nitro 2000, April 10th. There are a lot of follow-ups on that show because they had similar writing teams on that show. But I do want to say this. That is something that's missing from today's product. We'll have a very good segment like Braun and Roman, and then we won't have a follow-up. Mm-hmm. It loses its impact. We'll have a really good segment with what we're going to talk about in a little bit with Lesnar and Joe, and we won't have a follow-up. If you have follow-ups and even, teases to it, it makes it that much better and that much more memorable. Go ahead, Dylan.
Well, it's like, in terms of movies, it's like Pulp Fiction. If anybody's ever watched Pulp Fiction, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's 3 stories that interlock together at the very end. They combine to each other. It's like if you have the first story go on for the first act of the movie, and then it never gets brought up again. Like, what was the point in having it in the movie? So it's the same thing here. We never get any follow-ups. We never get any big moments to it being there. Like tonight. Okay, I'm not going to praise this segment because I don't like it, but I'm going to praise one thing. We saw the women getting their numbers for the Gauntlet match or whatever. It's simple. We should have it in bigger segments, though. That's what we're saying here. Kurt Hawkins versus Seth Rollins. Nobody fucking cares. But after the match, Bray Wyatt is interrupting. He's in that black room. He said last week Seth took a leap of faith. Obviously, Seth attacked Bray Wyatt from the top rope last week as a little sneak attack. He says he's under the impression, it seems that he's under the impression that because mankind has forgiven him, his soul is clean. He walks around wearing the filth of vanity like a suit of armor, waving the corporate flag and telling the people to be like no one. But if you blindly lead these ignorant people to a place of no return. So he's basically speaking in mythological terms and in creepy shit. So I like the wordplay, obviously. That's like some really good words here. But he says if he values his redemption, he'll give in to his true self. And Bray is here to help him, to melt his lies away with fire. He should be glad because he's going to be cleansed with the flame of a true God. And be careful what you think and what you wish for, because Wyatt is inside his mind everywhere. And July 9th will be his date of his reclamation. Give in to your true self or you will burn. And then Wyatt goes off. I like this promo. I thought it was good. It obviously brings up the fact that Bray thinks that Seth is just basically a pathological liar that's going to lead these people to success when he's not really going to do anything. He's just going to stand there and be for himself and by himself and not really going to give anybody else any kind of triumph that they're asking for. And why it's proving for him to be a hypocrite that he is, and that they're going to settle things at the pay-per-view. Probably one of the better things of the night is that Rollins didn't get a promo, which is weird because Rollins as a face has not been all that good. I still enjoy the promos he's been given the last couple weeks, but Wyatt is vastly superior in terms of cutting a promo. So I thought it was a very good promo tonight, but it's getting a little repetitive. I'm just going to be honest. Yeah. It is to a point now that we need to do something like the Bray Wyatt-Randy Orton feud from a few months ago. We got to implement something else here. Maybe they'll do that after this pay-per-view because they don't have plans for him, but let's change it up a bit. What do you got, Mitch?
Yeah, basically the same thing. I'm always going to love a Bray Wyatt promo, but I'm starting to tune it out a little bit in terms of what he's actually saying because I want to see something happen. You know, we've seen this last couple of weeks between him and Rollins, a promo here, a match there, and nothing really comes of it. I want to see Bray actually go about what he's saying. He's saying that Seth Rollins is a liar, that he isn't who he is. So why isn't Bray Wyatt trying to prove that in some sort of promo or segment or match that what Seth is saying isn't true? We should have some sort of segment where Bray is maybe, going over some of the historical elements of Seth Rollins' career and pointing out some of the fallacies of it and, something like that. We could do something cool with Bray Wyatt, of course. But I just feel like Bray Wyatt is stuck in a place. I really liked the feud he had with Orton for the most part. I thought it was very creative and something different that we never saw with his character. but it almost feels like WWE doesn't know what to do with him because his character is too good compared to everybody else. Like, they don't know what to do with him. And as for Rollins, he's just too babyface. It doesn't come across genuine. Sure, is he a talented guy? Yeah, I think he's a pretty decent guy. I do find him boring at times on the mic, but he is pretty talented, especially in the ring. I just feel like he's too bland.
They need to get some depth to him, I would say. I'd agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just a little bored, and I just want to see more. These are two of your top talents on your roster, and I would like to see them do something different with them.
Well, and like the last two feuds here, like I enjoyed the Triple H feud that Seth Rollins had, but since Mania, they went to this story with like, okay, we had our blow off with Rollins and H. Where do we go from here? And they have no idea what they're doing because like they want him to be the face of the company, but they don't know how to book it correctly.
Something with WWE nowadays is that they make their feuds feel too familiar and similar. They don't separate them and make them feel special. Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt as a feud should feel different from Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be the same feud and just a rehash of it. It should be it should be totally different, and you should be able to pick out scenes in your mind like 2 years from now of what was Rollins and Bray, and I haven't had one scene in my mind other than that Rollins dive off the top rope, which really didn't make a lot of sense to me, but you know, other than that,
behind, bro.
There isn't much. I would just like to see more from them.
Indeed. That's all we got to say for that segment. We enjoyed the two guys. Just need something there. There has to be something more than you're a liar. You're a liar. Let's fight. Go.
Arian says, I would have had this feud between Bray and Rollins be about Bray making Rollins pay for his sins since Bray is a god. Something like that.
Something human sacrifice. I mean, I don't know. You can do a lot of things with the Bray Wyatt character and push the PG boundary. But WWE doesn't know how to push anything except their own merchandise. Like, they don't know how to create interest.
Chauncey says, I'm a big cast kind of guy. Ask last week.
I understand why you did that, because it's always in caps. Chauncey, why do you always type in caps, bro? I don't understand anything with that. Anyways, Paul Heyman's waiting for Brock. He shows up. They go back to commercial, and we come back, and Paul Heyman's in the ring doing his, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I am the advocate for my client, Brock Lesnar. And he talks about how Joey Samoa doesn't fear Brock Lesnar. Joe stepped into the ring and pulled a cheap shot on Lesnar. He's not really a Samoan. Samoans usually, well, that's later, but still, he took a cheap shot on Lesnar. If Paul were to start a fight, not that he wants to, he would do a cheap shot too, knowing the locker room would pile on and separate, because that's what would happen here. And with everybody holding Brock back, Joe hit cheap shot number 2 and kicked Lesnar in the face. That just proves that Samoa Joe is, I love this line, a Samoan dumbass. And we all know that Joe isn't burdened with great intelligence. It takes a smart man to know when to fear, and now is the time for Samoa Joe to start fearing Brock Lesnar. The bathroom break is over. I love the fact that Paul Heyman just basically rips on the television. He's like, the rest of Raw, bathroom break. Fuck it. But Brock Lesnar's on your television screen. So here it is. Hit record. This is the moment we'll all be talking about tomorrow because, ladies and gentlemen, he's here to introduce his beast, the Conqueror, Brock Lesnar. He comes out. Brock Lesnar has the championship belt on him. I like the fit with him in the Universal Championship. And then all of a sudden, Samoa Joe attacks from behind. Gokina clutches him. I like that because Joe has an MMA background. So does Brock. Obviously, he was UFC heavyweight champion. But just having the Gokina clutch on him, I thought it was a nice touch. Beating the crap out of him. Attacking him from behind. They're still playing that story that Joe isn't intimidated, but he's still doing these really cheap shots on Lesnar. I don't know about that. So he gets the Gokina clutch. Brock tries to hit him into the screen from behind. Doesn't work. Tries to go a second time. Doesn't work. Locks it in a third time. And like Brock Lesnar's face at this segment was like really, really red, which I thought brought more realness into it. So I like the fact that they're bringing up the fact that Joe is like a legitimate badass. He's going to try to choke the shit out of him until he stops breathing. So I like that. I thought that was a good segment. We'll talk about I know Mitch will bring it up about the fact that Brock wasn't in the main event, and I will say my thoughts on that as well. But as a segment on there, I thought it was a good segment. Mitch, let me hear it.
First off, LeVar Ball. Okay. So in terms of Brock Lesnar, do I love seeing Brock Lesnar? Yes. Do I think Brock Lesnar is fantastic? Yes. Do I like Paul Heyman? Yes. Now, Brock Lesnar is your Universal Champion. He has been since WrestleMania. And how many minutes have we seen him on the shows he's been on? Maybe a total of 20. I mean, not very much. In this show, we saw him for about 3 minutes, I would say, probably. And that might even be generous, okay? And the majority of the time was good.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we only see Lesnar for 3 minutes? One segment.
Because this company had no shit. They don't know goddamn shit. They don't know anything.
Okay. Your championship on your show, I say this all the time, is the centerpiece of your show. You don't have your champion out there, especially Brock freaking Lesnar special attraction ratings pop for 3 minutes. You have him at the beginning, you have him in the middle, you have him at the end. You have him in multiple segments throughout the show to build the feud that he is in, because that's your money match and your money feud. Nobody is going to buy the pay-per-view or the WWE Network to watch the pay-per-view if Lesnar is barely building up his feud and he's only out there for 3 minutes. Now, did I like the segment? Yes, I liked the segment. I thought it was well done. It needed to be done. It was crucial because nobody in their right mind was believing Samoa Joe would beat Brock Lesnar until after this segment. They did this because they needed to do it, and I respect them for that. And it was a job well done. Samoa Joe got his move on him. We can actually see Samoa Joe now actually having a legitimate chance to beat Brock Lesnar. It did its job, and it did its job well. But Brock Lesnar only being on the show for that much time is a joke to me. And the fact that Paul Heyman is on the show more than Brock Lesnar, and they're supposed to be in the same segment at the same time, is ridiculous. Even Paul Heyman had multiple segments throughout the show, and there was no Brock Lesnar. So you need Brock Lesnar on the show more. He's the main attraction to your show other than LeVar Ball. So get him out there and get him working. Come on, WWE.
I'd also like to point out here.
Go ahead.
If there was a big enough match or big enough thing to be in the main event, possibly I could see them not having Brock Lesnar main event segment. However, tonight's main event segment was
if it was LeVar versus Miz, I understand.
Right. I would absolutely understand Lesnar not being there. Okay, it was a women's gauntlet match for a #1 contendership. What?
He doesn't even need to be in the main event. He just needs to be on the show a couple of times.
I think it needs to be both.
I do feel like 90% of the time he should be in the main event, depending on what's on your show. But he needs to be on the show at least multiple times.
I didn't understand why the women's segment needed to be main event.
It didn't make sense at all. Nobody even cares about the women's segment. Nobody.
The only reason I could possibly understand why they did it was because SmackDown women are going to do their Money in the Bank match tomorrow, so they're like, we got to put the women over. Women's, whoa! I care for women's rights and whatnot, but holy shit, stop talking about the damn revolution. But with Lesnar, I thought this segment needed to be main event worthy. You could put Joe over as like a legitimate badass. I know you did, but I thought it would have been.
Also, I want to say this, and I know that you may take offense to this, Dylan,
okay,
but I feel like the Paul Heyman shtick is getting a little bit old. I want to see Lesnar talk.
No, I don't disagree with that. I actually agree with that because I love my boy Heyman, but it's always, he has this little catchphrase and whatnot, but then it's doing the same kind of thing. Although I think he had a couple of good jokes tonight. We obviously would see what he can do in the video packages. Like he just goes out there and he's like, I'm not gonna take this, dumbass bitch right here. Like I think he said something to that degree on the video package last week. So if they just let him talk, he'd be great. It'd be great.
Destroyer says, "Hi Mitch, you're awesome. What's going on, bro?" Blue Jacket says, "Hey Mitch." Destroyer says WWE's booking is horrible. Arian is saying all the women suck. Why the F was at the main event? Arian says the only thing Samoa Joe has done in his career is look angry. I agree. Jesus says hi.
Jesus.
Katana says Michael Cole did bring up the Roman and Strowman thing again, but they never showed it after that, so that's interesting. But anyways, let's just skip this cruiserweight segment because who gives a flying fuck?
I was just about to say the next segment's the cruiserweights. If anybody cares, raise your hand. Put your hand down because nobody fucking cares. And then we have the main event segment. Wait, no, that's not the. Oh no, we have one more segment for this. Actually,
the Destroyer says hi, Dylan. You suck. And Blue Jackets, I do remember.
I have 2 middle fingers. I don't. Is that sign language? Hey, you do have an Austin 316 shirt, so I do like that. Maybe that's why I'm doing it.
And I was pissed. Where was Austin? He was supposed to be on the show. The dirt sheets are telling me they're on this show. Never trust Meltzer Magoo again.
Fuck Meltzer. Somebody send that guy in. I want to fight him. I want to fight him to a real combat. Anyways, Paul Heyman backstage with Charlie Caruso again. We got 2 of these tonight. She's looking for answers, right? She's the journalist. She wants to know the answers.
Smoking, bro.
You
got even a better look at her this segment.
Yeah, that's true because they were backstage and he was lit a little bit. I liked it. So, anyways, Paul Heyman's there. She's like, I got to get some answers. How do you feel about Joe attacking Lesnar from behind? He says, you know what? This proves everything I knew about Samoa Joe. Samoans are supposed to be proud warriors to take on fights. Even the women do it. But Joe just sneaks up and applies cocaine and clutch. Don't get it wrong. In 13 days, if he applies that cocaine and clutch, Lesnar's going to have a problem. But as a promoter, he's loving every single minute of this because his client has his back against the wall, which is the only chance he has considering he'll get jumped if his back is not against the wall. This will be down and dirty, ugly and nasty, brutal finish. It's not going to be just suplex, F5, go home, congratulations. It's going to be brutal. And when they're walking up, when they're walking up to Samoa Joe in the trainer's room, I love this line. He's going to say, oh, dear God, is that what it's like to fight the beast? Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I liked it because they actually implemented the stupid thing that they're replicating. And Paul Heyman's from that era. Well, not from that. Well, what is he? He's got to be 50. So, he was probably in that era when the song came out. So I enjoyed that promo. I know we need to see a little bit more of Brock Lesnar, but I enjoyed it. You got anything with the backstage interview of Paul Heyman?
No, other than Charlie.
5 stars, Charlie Caruso. Nia Jax is leaving Kurt Angle's office. Just got her number for the Gauntlet match. And Alexa Bliss rolls up, asking what number she's got. Jax doesn't share it, and Bliss says she's trying to pitch her on an alliance, talking about how they're alike in similar ways. And I had no idea what the fuck this was. It was like we're trying to care about Nia Jax and what she's doing, but it didn't really get across that way, especially with the finish of the show. She says it's not easy being judged. We both got judged. Alexa wishes her the best of luck, and Jax says she doesn't need it. I don't know.
It was confusing.
Main event.
But it also made me believe the stuff they've been doing with Nia and Alexa, which are the only 2 women that have some sort of a storyline going on, it would have made sense for Nia to win this match, but we'll see who wins with just Sasha Banks.
We'll see who wins, followed by a spoiler. There's Mitch right there. Main event. Bayley, Dana Brooke, Emma, Mickie James, Nia Jax, Sasha Banks. Number 1 contenders, women's gauntlet. Here's the storyline, or the outline of this match. Nia Jax has won with Bayley. Bayley's supposed to be one of their biggest superstars, but nobody fucking cares about her because she's awful. Nia just squashes her in about 5 minutes. Then Nia goes through the rest of the competition in like 2 moves. I swear to God, Dana Brooke was there before I even... I went to go take a piss in the break. When I saw Dana Brooke out there, I went to go take a piss. I came back. She was already eliminated. What the fuck? So, finally, at the end, it's Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. They bring up the fact that this was an actual feud on an actual pay-per-view. So, they've done this in 2017. Wasn't very good, but they did it. And this thing was long. This one part was probably a good 12, 13 minutes. And Nia had already been out there for a good 10 minutes before that. So, Sasha tries to do a bunch of different moves to tag down the giant of the women's division. And it wasn't very good. I didn't care. But Sasha Banks is the winner. Why? Because intrigue. It doesn't exist. Sasha Banks wins the match because we need to have a big moment in the last segment. Women's Revolution. Woo! And Kurt Angle comes out, raises her hand. Alexa Bliss comes out, gets in Sasha's face. Banks drops kicks the shit out of her, and she holds the title. I think there's actually some legitimate heat. I find it funny. But Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks is going to be a match at Great Balls of Fire. I think it's going to be a fun match, but this has no storyline. And they have...
That's my problem with it. But, you know, I like Sasha. I've always liked Sasha. I don't love Sasha, but I like Sasha. And I also think that Sasha is actually getting a lot of mainstream attention right now. Especially with like the BET Awards just yesterday, and she was like involved in that. So I think that might have had something to do with the decision, but I don't really know.
That was the reason for going for this. Bro, they have 1 week till the show. Like, what do you build off this?
Nothing. I guess that's the start of the feud is the show.
That shouldn't happen. Like, conscious
booking. This division's ass. I don't have much to say. Arian's trying to make me explain why Mickie James and Dana Brooke are together. I don't know.
Hell if I know. Bro, look at the championship feuds we have right now, okay? Women's division is a feud that doesn't exist. IC title is Miz and Ambrose, which is, I guess, the best mid-card title feud they have, but they didn't do shit this week, and Ambrose has been pretty mediocre to bad in the last couple weeks. The tag team division, which has no storyline. And then the Universal title, which is objectively the best one, even though they've done some
and there's going to be an Enzo versus Cass match, right?
I would think so. Yeah. But I'm saying in terms of title feuds, only one of them has really done anything successful in the four titles. Like, what is this? Give this to me like the night after the last pay-per-view. I don't even know what the fucking last pay-per-view was. Like, give me some kind of build-up to this. 1 week. You have 1 week. Unless if Sasha Banks throws Alexa Bliss off the balcony next week, I don't know where the intrigue is for this match. It has two of the best asses in the company, for sure. Yeah. For the size and stature, 5'0" and probably 5'3". No, she's probably taller than that, but still, they're the greatest asses we've seen. However, there's no feud. So that is the end of Monday Night Raw. Let's get to some comments here right before we give our rating. Last comment I saw was, "Hi Dylan, you suck." Thank you, Destroyer. You're just such a nice person. Love to meet you in person.
We will have GM mode in approximately an hour, 45 minutes.
An hour 45.
An hour or 45 minutes. We'll see.
45 minutes. Okay, I was about to say I gotta get some sleep. The only reason
no sleep till Brooklyn. No sleep.
Well, that's a great song. Beastie Boys. Let's get to some comments. Arian says they should have had Lesnar talk the week after Joe KO'd Heyman. Arian also says, imagine how good it would be if Austin was a GM. Angle's a good GM, bro. It's just like they don't do anything, and they haven't brought up that storyline a lot. They did bring it up. I forgot to mention the cast did approach Corey Graves about the thing that happened last week, so they kind of brought it up, but they should do more with it. Arian says, I swear, Mitch, she's going to give a restraining order on you, bro. So, I don't know. Maybe
she likes it.
Brother Nero, did you know that Matt Hardy was a Paul Heyman guy in 2002 with Brock Lesnar? No, I didn't, because I don't think that was true.
I did not know
that. Ever a thing? They had a feud where Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar were attacking the Hardys. That was like his first feud. I don't know. Arian, also, you brought up the fact that why is Mickie James and Dana Brooke together? Clark says it's good that Sasha won, but Nia Jax is getting buried in some capacity. She needs a whole repackaging entirely. Yes, because what is Nia Jax without the greatest theme ever known to man? And they had her built up so much, and then Sasha Banks just beat her, in the last match. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. Let's see. Arian says if it was up to him, I would have them all on a table with a briefcase. In that briefcase, one gets a title shot, two of them get a no DQ match, one gets fired. Are you trying to rip off TNA? Because it's never really good to do the feast or fired shit. I'm just saying. Yeah, so I think there were some interesting aspects of the show. There were some good storylines. Enzo and Cass, I'd say, We both agree. Best segment of the night. Roman Braun was cool. Other good things. But I thought overall some of the show was dull. Like they could have done a lot more with the storylines. Our title feuds, besides the main event title feud, is shit. 2 of them don't even have storylines. One has been just plain. So it knocks them down. It knocks some points for me. I'm going to give it a straight. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 10 for me tonight. Last week, they got a 7, which was exceedingly high. Like, they overachieved last week in terms of Raw. But there was some good stuff. There was some bad stuff. There was some I really didn't care about. And we even skipped 2 segments. So that's how I feel about the show. Mitch, your rating.
I'll give it a 5.5. LeVar Ball.
Oh, yeah. Give it an extra half point for that. 5.
Enzo and Cass. That's enough for me. And then the Lesnar and Samoa Joe, they accomplished that stuff. Roman and Braun. So, yeah, 5.5. I'll give it a pass.
All right, I'll give it a 5. I have to get the extra half point. I forgot LeVar Ball. The greatest person alive. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Monday Night Raw, June 26th, 2017. If you guys enjoyed this review, like the video, of course. Comment below your thoughts on Raw. Is it still shit? Absolutely, we know that. But give us some more thoughts on what they should do for next week's go-home show to the Dallas pay-per-view, which I will be at. I'll do a live stream of my experience the day after. We'll talk about it if you guys want to talk about it. Clark says me and you should have a hardcore match. We've been booking a match for like the last 2 WrestleManias. It never really happened. I don't know where that happened, so we're gonna try. We're gonna try. But GM mode, episode 9. Later tonight, here in about an hour or so, we're going to get started. No Sleep Till Brooklyn should be the title. But
there you go.
Mitch, anything to plug for Plug City?
Check out my new NFL videos, strongest at every position group in the NFL. I'll also have my live event review will probably be up tomorrow. And one more thing, the reaction to the top 100 players of 2017, the NFL Network version, not my version. I'm going to compare my list to their list and see how we matched up.
Damn, I was thinking about that as a video idea. But that's all right. I got more content in the back catalog in my mind. We're going to have some content here. I'll have some NFL stuff as well because we're getting close. Off season's obviously very anticipated. So a lot of stuff is coming away from the Bottom Line View. You know your boy, Kevo. He's releasing content. Somebody's editing for him, but he's doing the audio stuff. Adam, Fitty, Mitch, myself, we're all making bangers. No more sleep. We just grind for the channel. So thank you guys for watching. Mitch and Dylan. Check us out on GM Mode later tonight. Peace.
Peace.